Thank you all for being here. Super grateful. We talked about some of the stuff the other night, but I appreciate the support of trying to put it all together and maybe have it to share with other people. Yeah, so, Kathy and I have been working on these issues of climate change for like 35, 40 years. We've known things that needed to happen, and as we all know, they haven't happened yet. It's like, what's going on? And I have come to believe that one reason that we are, as a society, we are not doing the things that need to get done is because we really can't wrap our brains around what's really going on with climate change. And until we do, we're not going to be able to do the things that have to get done. I've also come to believe that we need that stories can help us understand things, become maps for what's really going on. And so I have been starting to use 5 stories that one by one I think can help us understand climate change, understand what we can do, move out of the depression and the fear and all the anxiety that comes with dealing with climate change, and can move us into action. So these are both stories to help you all in your own journeys, and maybe to help you share with other people, to pass on and help them understand. Because really, I think we have 3 problems, really. We have the first problem is the people who don't think there's a problem. And we tend to think that's the real problem, right? But there's also a lot of us who, and that's just really who I'm talking. I'm just not here for those folks. I'm not here to teach people about climate change or to convince people to do something. I'm talking to you guys because you already know about climate change and you want to do something. There's so many of us who do know about it and do want to do something, and yet our lives we're still adding to the problem. We're still doing things that are burning carbon. And then there's also the third problem is, so our lives aren't aligned with what we know. So I think these stories can help with that. And there's also the other problem is people who think, well, it's too late. It's gone too far. There's nothing we can do. I talk to people like that all the time. I'm like, no, it is not too late. I mean, that's like you're driving down the street in your car and like a lady with a baby carriage comes into the crosswalk and say, oh, guess I'm going to hit her. Like we don't do that. You slam on your brakes. Maybe even if it seems too late, you do everything you can. And yet we're not doing that. We say, oh, yeah, it's too late. Can't do anything. So here's the stories. And that leads really to the first story. The first story is called The Crash. And I imagine a guy driving his car, and he's driving the highway, and there's this brick wall ahead. And he told everybody he was going to drive on this car. So he was going to drive on this highway. And so they painted this big line on the road and said, okay, this is where you got to stop. You got to slam on, no matter how fast, if you're going too fast, if you slam on your brakes right here, you will stop before you hit the wall and there won't be a crash. And this person got that and they know that. And, they're driving along and guess what? That you can see the line, but it's in the rear view mirror. They've passed the line, and not only they're not slowing down, they're still accelerating. I think this is where we are. We know that we had to stop when there was 350 parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere, and now there's 410. Or last year there was 410, now it's 420. We're still going faster. And the 2 things that are most important about this story is, first of all, there's going to be a crash. It is going to be bad. We have caused a huge problem. It's already killed thousands and thousands of people, displaced probably millions. Okay, the fires, the floods, the rising sea level, all these things that we've caused with climate change. So there's going to be a crash. But the important thing is, there's crashes all the time and people walk away from them. People survive crashes. That's where we are right now. There's going to be a crash, but everyone doesn't have to die. Okay, because it's not just the driver in the car. Their beloved is in the car. And the kids are in the car. Maybe there's grandkids in the back seat. Okay, everyone's in the car, right? But some people could walk away from this. And people don't want to talk about this. The people even in the climate community don't want to talk about this. There's probably 1 billion people who are going to be killed by the problems related to climate change. That's a lot of people. I mean, if we did, it doesn't have to be. If we did everything right, it would be way less than that. Okay, but we're humans. We've been doing not everything right already for 40 years. We're not going to start suddenly doing everything right. Even if we did everything right, it would still be disastrous. But if we do everything wrong, we could literally make the earth uninhabitable for human beings. Everybody dying, plus no future. All right? That's what doesn't have to happen. The billion's going to happen. But, what we do in our lifetimes here is the difference between 1 billion and 2 billion or 4 billion or everybody. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a big difference. That's worth doing something about.